Good evening, people. How you doing? I've got a new gadget. I've got a new tripod, microphone, light. I really hope it's working. Somebody will probably say to me now, I can't hear you. I'll be like, shit. I've been so excited to use it. It came in the post a few weeks ago, and we didn't know because we haven't been able to get to our bloody post box. We're in little lockdowns here in Spain, but we're off to Portugal on Wednesday. So our Portuguese pad to get locked down there instead. It's just a change of scenery though. Who is with me tonight? Let me know by saying hey and sharing if you're watching me live, because it's always really valuable to know, hey Kerry, who's catching live. And equally, if you're watching this on replay, share that with me too, because it's equally as important for me to know who's not catching these live, but who is catching up on replay. Hey Sarah, my love, good evening. And hey Caroline, hey, how are you? Hey James, how you doing? So, you can all see and hear me. That's good, my new gadget's working then, I am pleased. So whilst people are getting logged in, hey Alex, I wanted to just tell you about a couple of things you need to know. And one of them is a really exciting giveaway that I'm going to do tonight. Well, there's two giveaways actually, one tonight and one tomorrow, and they're both really important and you need to know about both of them. Hey Alice. So I am giving away a copy tonight of my book, Miss Moneybags. And I haven't done this for a little while. I look glowing. Oh, thanks, Kerry. That's really nice of you to say. I'm giving away a copy of this book because tonight we are talking about how I now buy houses in cash and how I manifested my first cash purchase when I thought I needed another 500,000, another 500,000 is what I thought I was gonna need to save to make that a possibility, and how the universe knows no boundaries, and whether it's 500,000 or 10 pence, if we believe and we know for certain that anything is possible for us and we are infinite potential beings, that anything really is possible for us. And I'm sharing that part of the story with you this evening about how I came to manifest that house. You're going to get a bit of woo-woo this evening. It's going to be less strategy and more magic tonight. And that's what this book's about, right? Miss Moneybags is all about money magic. It's about manifesting more money. It's about healing our relationship with money, healing our money wounds that can be passed down from generations and generations. And I want to give you a copy of this. I want you to have this Christmas present. And if you already have this, then I still want to give you a copy so you can maybe give it to somebody else for Christmas who might need it. So if you feel called to this evening, I would love you to share this video, this training, with anybody that you think is going to get value from it. A woman in business that is ready to level up, a woman that you feel like you want to make their life better today in some way, a woman that inspires you, a woman that maybe I don't know yet and she doesn't know me and you want to share my work with her. You can do that by tagging them or by sharing. But for us to put you in the draw to get the book, we need to know you've shared. So you have to let us know by writing shared in the comments, because we can see the shares, but we can't see who's done the sharing. So you need to let us know that you're somebody that's done the sharing. And we're going to take all the names of the people that share tonight's video and tag somebody that they know, and we're going to put them into a drawer, and I'm going to pull out 10 names, not just one, 10 names, and send out 10 copies of Miss Moneybags as a little Christmas present from me to you. So, also, you might know that I've been clearing out my social media over the last few days. I've been having a bit of a social media declutter. You know I love a declutter. It's therapeutic in every sense of the word. And it's also very therapeutic when we declutter people. Now, that's not because I don't like people or I think that people shouldn't be in my circle. It's just because I want people that want to be here. And when I share masterclasses, videos, anything with the intention intention of helping another woman in business. I need them to see it. And if my followers are people that aren't engaged and don't really want to see it, it may come up on your newsfeed instead of the people that do. So every now and then I have a big clear out. I clear out Facebook, I clear out Instagram, I clear out LinkedIn, and get rid of anybody that just doesn't really want to be there. But how do I know if you want to be here or not? You have to tell me. So alongside sharing for your copy of the book today, I would also love you to let me know that you want to be here, because I know that lots of people will watch these lives and not say anything, and that's all right. You might want to watch anonymously. I get you, I hear you. I like to watch things anonymously. Sometimes I just like to sit behind the screen and say nothing. Sometimes I'm watching while I'm cooking dinner or doing something else, and it's not possible for me to interact on live videos, and I understand that too. So if you're somebody that wants to stay around, but you're not much of a talker or an interactor, please let me know you're watching, even if it's just by dropping an emoji on this video. Just let me know today by engaging in the comments. It could be an emoji. You might say to me, Michelle, I'm here. You might say, I'm watching. You might say something else, but just let me know that you're around, so I know you want to stay around. Okay, let's dive in. I'm going to be letting you know about a really exciting competition at the end of this video as well, which is going to give you an opportunity to win not just a book, but a free marketing mastery access, which is my self-study lead generation course that teaches you everything I know about generating leads online and doing it predictably, so that your income is predictable, so your sales are predictable. And I'm going to be telling you at the end of this video how you can get your hands on that course for free, and it's lifetime access, and it's worth $997. I'm literally going to be gifting you a Christmas present worth nearly £1,000. So stay around till the end to find out how you get that. Okay, while you guys are sharing and tagging to get the book and letting me know in the comments that you want to stay around even if you're a bit of a lurker and you don't say much, I'm going to crack on and tell you about episode 7. So I can't believe it's been 7 weeks already, and I've absolutely loved the process of sharing the story with you of how I went from 5 years ago living in a caravan to today being a self-made multi-millionaire with multiple properties. So in 5 years I went from not having one home to live in to having multiple, all paid for in cash. And the paying for in cash is the bit that I want to talk to you about tonight. How did we get to that place, and how did I manifest my dream home when I actually thought that it was about $500,000 over my budget? But within 30 days of setting the intention, it became mine. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? You're probably thinking, how do you manifest £500,000 in 30 days? It sounds ridiculous, but the point is the universe knows no limits. Whether you're manifesting £5 or £500,000 or £5 million, it's energy. Money is energy, the same as you and I, the same as the table that I am resting my tripod on, the same as the tripod that is holding my phone, the same as the book that I'm giving away today. Don't forget to share and comment to get your copy. It's all energy, all of it. And as energetic beings, we have the ability to create energy with our thoughts, feelings. And that's what this episode's about. How does one do that? And how did I do that? So let me take you back. As you know, I've been through it a little bit at this point in my journey, and I've had quite a few challenges to face, and there's been problems. Just because I have more money now doesn't mean that I was problem free. And as you heard me talk about in the last couple of episodes, which by the way, you can catch all of the episodes on replay above the video. When it comes to the problems that I was now facing, new level problems, new level, new devil, I no longer had money as a problem. The accumulation of money wasn't a problem. Money was coming in easily and effortlessly from sources that I never expected. But I had other problems, as you know, in the last few weeks. Money doesn't magically disappear every problem and worry that you've ever had. It doesn't work like that. So I had problems, but money wasn't one of them. And I had begun to experience scarcity. And you're probably thinking, scarcity? Millions coming in from multiple different sources, multiple income streams, and more money than you've ever had coming in every month, and more money than you've ever had in the bank. What were you scared of? But I was scared of it going away. I was scared of it disappearing, because I had been broke and I'd been wealthy at this point in the story. As you know, I had money in my traditional business, working in nightclubs, and I'd spent a lot. I'd upgraded my life. I'd got a bigger house, a nicer car. I was going on more expensive holidays. My commitments had become increased when my money had become increased. And it had all gone away, and I'd had to start from scratch. So I knew better than most that just having money doesn't give you peace of mind. Just having more money doesn't give you a stress-free, worry-free existence. That's not how it works. I'd been wealthy and still lay in bed at night worrying, because here's the thing. If you earn $1 million a year, but you still have a massive mortgage on a massive mansion and 5 cars on the drive and expensive holidays every month and a wardrobe full of designer clothes, and you're spending $1 million, you don't go to bed and rest any more peacefully than you do if you have $3,000 a month and you're spending $3,000 a month. It's the same. I knew at this stage of my journey that more money didn't equal more peace of mind. Knowing that you are the person that can create it, and that you're smart and know what to do with it when it comes in to keep your money working for you, is what really creates peace of mind. And I had that at this point in the journey. I knew how to make money. I'd done a lot of work on myself, learning strategies, implementing them, getting them wrong, fucking it up, trying again. I'd been through that process, and I felt really confident that, do you know what? Money could disappear tomorrow, but I would still be okay because I'd know how to make more. I had that, I could tick that box. When money was coming in, I was extremely sensible with it. I'll tell you how we used to manage our money, and still do to this day in a second. But I still felt scared. I still felt scarcity. I still felt worry, and I felt panic, and I felt guilt, and I felt shame every time I made a big purchase. Because it was like ingrained in as a pattern. Our unconscious patterns, our beliefs, the neural pathways that our brain forms over time when we think the same over extended periods of time. Our energy is imprinted. It's almost like it's like muscle memory. It was just hardwired into me to worry and stress. It had become like a habit that I couldn't kick. And even there, sat with a good amount of money in the bank, more than I'd ever had, and lots of money coming in every month predictably and easily and effortlessly, I still felt scared. If I went into a shop to make a big purchase like that handbag that I'd always wanted, or I felt like I wanted to buy the Gucci trainers instead of the Nike ones now, I felt enormous amounts of guilt and panic and fear rising when I made these purchases, even though I could afford it. Because it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. It doesn't change your thoughts, it doesn't change your feelings, it doesn't change your energy. So here's the thing. There was 2 things at play. One was muscle memory. Old feelings, old patterns replaying on a loop. And the second was, it was a useful feeling and a useful belief that was triggering these feelings. Because, why are they useful? Because they were going to stop me from making the same mistakes. You know, sometimes we make our limiting beliefs, we make them our enemy, and we try and get rid of them. How many people have you heard talk about shifting your limiting beliefs, clearing your limiting beliefs, smashing them wide open. And that stuff's powerful and necessary if our beliefs are paralysing us. But actually, sometimes our feelings, our thoughts and our beliefs are interesting feedback for us to examine and say what's actually going on here. And around this time, that's what I did. But what's actually going on here? Why do I still feel worried and panicked? I'm more in control and more abundant than I've ever been. Why is it when I spend, I still feel the same familiar pangs of guilt and shame, etc.? And here's what I realised. I had stopped doing some of the stuff, which is why I'm giving this book away for free tonight. And don't forget what to do to get it. You need to share the video if you feel called to and you want to share it. And tell me you've shared it by commenting, because I won't know who shared it and who to put in the prize draw. And also comment by tagging somebody that you think is going to get benefit as well. But I'd stopped doing some of this stuff. I stopped working on my relationship with money as much as I was when I was broke. I kind of got to the point where I thought, arrogantly, I probably don't need to do that anymore. I absolutely needed to do that. I needed to keep doing that to constantly up-level what was possible for me, but also to maintain easily and effortlessly where I already was. And it was like a checkup from the neck up, like, oh shit, I have stopped doing that. The little things I was doing when I was going into a shop before to keep my energy high and abundant, like when I felt the pang of guilt and shame when I was handing over money, going, plenty more where that came from, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd stopped doing that. Now I was walking to shops going, oh God, why does that feel uncomfortable? Oh, you shouldn't be battling with yourself like this. And all the things that I knew that I've freaking written about, I'd stopped doing. So there's the first tip for you. Never stop doing the things that got you to where you are today. Because those things got you there. And its chances are good if they got you there, then they're things that are working for you that we shouldn't be get arrogant enough to stop doing. And I'd done that. But the second thing is, it was valuable because it was stopping me from making the same mistakes. One of the things I'd implemented into my life back when I was broke and on my way to creating wealth was budgeting. Really simple budgeting each month. I have an app still to this day on my phone and it's called Spending. And it's available in the App Store for free. It's a little brown wallet. The icon is a little brown wallet that you see when you go to the App Store. It's called Spending. You download it and you can input in there what your budget is for the month. And I've been doing this all these years and still do it every month to this day. In this book, I talk about the percentage of money you should allocate to each area of your life on a monthly basis to accumulate wealth. And that Spending app reflects that in my life. Let's say, for example, 10%, which is what I've always budgeted, 10% of what you earn goes towards luxuries, nice to haves, the handbag, the shoes, the holidays, etc. 10%. Now, if you're earning £3,000 a month, that's £300. It doesn't seem like that much. For me and James, when we were earning £3,000, it meant that that 10% went on a takeaway, or a new jumper, or a weekend away, maybe. And as your income increases, the percentage stays the same, but of course the amount increases. So when it's £10,000 a month, suddenly you've got £1,000 to spend. When it's £100,000 a month, we have £10,000 a month to spend now on luxuries. And that's where we were at this point in the journey. And it seemed ridiculous to me. It seemed obscene. And I'll be honest, I was struggling to spend it because there was nothing I wanted every month that was like 10 grand. There's only so much stuff you can buy before it starts to make you feel empty. God, if someone had said to me 5 years previous, you can have 10 grand a month for luxuries, that's going to be a luxury budget and it's only going to be 10% of what you earn. And you can go for your life on holidays and eating out and clothes. I'd have been like, fuck me, I'd be like a pig in shit. That'd be amazing. But the reality was, it felt really uncomfortable. The reason it felt uncomfortable for me is because it was unnecessary. And there's still a budget for charity, by the way. There's still a budget for doing good in the world. This is separate to that. But I just felt like it had reached a point where it didn't feel good anymore. It felt flash. It felt unnecessary and it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel in line with my core values. And that wasn't because I'd got more money mindset work to do. It was because it was legitimately making me aware of something that was out of line with how I wanted to live my life. I didn't want to develop a lifestyle where I blew 10 grand a month like that on stuff that I didn't really need or want. I didn't want that for me. I didn't want that for the children that I'm going to raise who are looking at me to be their role model. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that if you do want that. It just wasn't for me. I wanted to put the money into things that felt smart, that felt more meaningful. And in having these conversations with James and sitting down and going, this is how I'm feeling, how are you feeling, and really talking about this, we decided that what's really important to us is to begin investing in property. And this extra 10 grand a month that we got to spend on nothing, that was, don't forget, outside of our savings budget, outside of our giving budget. We were going to put that 10 grand a month, unless there was something we really wanted, we were going to put it all towards the property that we wanted to buy. And the property that we really wanted to purchase was somewhere that could be a retreat venue that doubled up as a place that we could have as a Spanish home when we're in Spain, a home where we could entertain family and friends, and that was big enough to have guests stay with us at a luxury retreat environment, so it was an asset in many ways as well. And that's what we wanted. And knowing ourselves and knowing that we're never still long enough to commit to a country and actually call it home, we wanted, COVID put a spanner in the works this year with that, but we wanted it to be somewhere that we could come and enjoy as our holiday home with our children and family in the future, but also fulfill a big goal that we'd had to get eyeball to eyeball with our clients and be able to actually feel the slap of a high five when they're winning, and be able to give them a cuddle when we see them, and to be able to sit and see the light bulb go off when they realise something, and show them behind the scenes in our business and go, look at my diary, look how I plan, look how I track things, look how I lead my team, listen to me selling, watch me, I wanted people to have that fly on the wall experience. We talked about it for years as we were building the business. Can you imagine the value people would get if they were sat here now around the table with us? We talked about this for so long. But we needed the venue to be able to provide that experience. They didn't want it to feel like you were just getting a spare room in my bedroom. I wanted it to feel like a luxury experience for high-end clients that are building incredible businesses. These are premium, high-level entrepreneurs. I didn't want to stick them in my spare room. I wanted them to have a suite and a jacuzzi and a pool and all of the things that I would have wanted from a millionaire mentor experience. That's what I wanted for my clients. So we started to get really specific about this. Now, this happened at the new moon. Now, I'm telling you this because it is so relevant. I, for about 12 months leading up to this, had been reading a lot about the moon cycles and how manifesting with the moon can make the manifestation process more powerful and speed it up. And I'll be honest, I was a bit skeptical about that. Even being a spiritual person that has been engaged in spiritual growth alongside personal and professional development for years, when it comes to the moon, I was like, really? How does that work? But the more I read, the more fascinated I became. And the more I realised that it makes sense from an energetic level. We are cyclic beings as women. I mean, gosh, our periods, before there was artificial light, all women would bleed in the cycle of the moon. At a new moon, we would have our period. There's got to be something in that. There's obviously a big effect that the energy of the moon has on us. And that makes sense when you think about a large percentage of our body is made up of water. Think about how the moon affects the tide of the sea. It's obviously going to have effect on us, our energy. Whatever has an effect on our energy has an effect on our ability to manifest more energy, right? Money is just energy, remember? So I was embracing this next level of woo-woo around this time, and decided to sit down with James at the new moon and set some really clear intentions about the goal we had for buying this next property. But before you set your intentions at a new moon, you've got to clear out any stagnant energy. energy that you feel may be holding you back for being the highest expression of your energetic self. What do I mean by that? Well, when we manifest the things that we want that are a highest expression of our desires, we have to be vibrating at the highest expression of our energetic self to be able to manifest those things. So anything low vibration, like hate, hurt, anger, disappointment, guilt, shame, any of those negative emotions that pull our vibration down a little bit and stop us from operating from our highest expression, we need to clear them. And they could be situations, people, circumstances, memories that we're holding on to that might not be prolific in terms of we think about them all the time, but they're just there, you know? We all have that stuff. We have to have this energetic clear out on a regular occasion to make sure that we've released some of that stuff. Doubt, Claire says, exactly. Doubt is the biggest killer of the manifestation process. And there are things that cause these things, you know, experiences we've had and people we've encountered, things that we're holding on to. So at the new moon, we like to do a forgiveness process, a releasing process. Almost like a cutting of the cord of anything that is not serving the highest expression of ourselves and the energy that we want to be emitting. And we began this process. This was the first time we did this, okay? So this isn't something that you've got to like be doing all the time and getting really good at. We don't do this every single new moon. We don't. But every now and then we do. I'm not giving you another job here. So please don't think, oh God, now I've got to start working out when the new moon is and manifesting. And I'm not telling you that, because you do what's right for you. If that feels too much, don't do that. If you want to do this a few times a year, do that. That's okay. So we decided to sit down and do this process. Now, as you know from the videos before, over the last couple of weeks, we still had problems. Money wasn't one of them, but we had problems and people and situations that had challenged us that we needed to release. Now, this can be a really simple process. I like to release by putting pen to paper and writing out names, situations, whatever. Write it out. Da 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 da. I release you. Thank you for the lesson in da 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 da. But I no longer need you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Like, we release with love. I also like to close my eyes and draw an image in my mind of the people, of the person, the situation, whatever it is you know you need to clear, and see it resolved in your mind. If it's a person, for example, see yourself giving them a big bear hug. See yourself shaking their hand and smiling with genuine love for them. See yourself saying to that person, I understand. You're a soul having a human experience just like me, and you make mistakes and you get things wrong, and when you hurt others, and when you hate yourself, you lash out at someone else. And I see you as the little girl or the little boy that you are, that's just trying your best. And I might have got hurt in that, but that's okay. I learned lessons too. Here are the lessons I learned from you. Thank you so much. I love you, I love you, I love you. See yourself giving them that big bear hug. Do you know, when we have to release people, it's harder than situations, because when we release someone that's a person, it's personal, right? Because if we're having to release a person, it's because they've done something that's hurt you or disappointed you or angered you. And releasing it feels sometimes like we're letting them off the hook and we're saying it's okay. We're not saying it's okay. We're saying, I'm letting you go because weighing me down is not serving me or you. I'm letting you go for me. You know, if we can only get to that place, then that's okay. So we did this process of releasing. We did this process of forgiveness, which I absolutely recommend, whether it's a new moon, full moon, or something in between. Free yourself from anything that is keeping you from going to the next level in energy, in way of being, in way of feeling. Then we set some intentions for what we wanted. Don't underestimate the power of pen to paper. Don't just have your intentions here. Don't just sit and say them out loud. Write them down. I don't know why something magical happens when a pen hits a piece of paper, but it does every time. You've heard my examples of when we were wanting to get a house in Lanzarote and we put pen to paper and got specific. We knew the power of this by this point, and there's no other way to set goals and intentions for us other than pen to paper. So that's what we did. And we wrote a list, a wish list, a list of things that the house had to include. And we said things like views that take your breath away, that you never get tired of, you look at every day and feel blessed. Massive tick. Any of you that have been following the journey of renovation and getting this house how we want it to be will know the views are the big thing that I talk about the most, because I still look at them and I can't believe it. We wanted it to be big enough to have 4 suites that were like master suites, like wow suites. So when clients came, they felt like they'd stepped into a 5-6 star luxury hotel. We wanted it to have an infinity pool. We wanted it to have room for hot tubs and saunas and massage rooms so that people could be pampered from start to finish. We wanted to have big areas so we could congregate together outside, inside, and have epic parties and get-togethers. And the list went on and on and on. And we stood back after looking at this list and we were like, wow. It felt like a big ask. It felt like a really big ask. Because bear in mind, you know, success had been really fast for us. And we'd arrived at this place from broke to millionaire in a short space of time. And I know that you might be thinking, oh, poor you, but that was hard for you. But you know what? It comes with its challenges, because you have to mentally adjust. And suddenly setting a goal to pay for that sort of house in cash felt beyond me. I felt all the feelings, guilt, like, is it okay for me to want all of this? A bit of shame, like, what about the people that have hardly anything? A bit of fear, like, what if I buy a house in cash and then that's all I ever have and all the money's gone and it's cash and it's in the house and it's all of that irrational stuff? Those things don't go away because you earn more. New level, new devil. Every step of the way you're going to be breaking through to that next level of thinking, being. It's an adjustment constantly. And just looking at this list we've created was an adjustment for us. But we did it. We set the intention. And then we spent a few minutes grounding ourselves, going, God, because I like to talk to God, you might talk to the universe. I also talk to angels. You that might not resonate with you, but for me it was God, angels, higher intelligence, source, ever guiding me. Please show me how to make this happen. Show me the way, show me the easiest way to create this as our reality. Show me the perfect house for us that ticks every box. Show me, show me, show me. And thank you, thank you, thank you, because I know you always deliver. And trusting that we were going to be guided. I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers for you on what it is that's guiding us, who it is that's guiding us, and what that means in a religious sense, because I don't have those answers for you. But I know for certain, there is no shadow of doubt in my mind that there is someone, something that we probably won't grasp while we're having this human experience. We probably will never grasp it fully while we're here in this dimension having this experience, but it's there and it wants nothing but the best for you. He, she, it wants you to live an extraordinary, abundant life that brings you joy and happiness in every area. There doesn't have to be a sacrifice, a trade-off, no guilt, shame for wanting it and making it happen. We don't have to sacrifice our needs and wants to be a good person. That is not the God that I believe in. The God I believe in doesn't want to see me struggle. It doesn't want to see me sacrifice myself and do work for free, or live in a small house and sell all my shoes and live in a cave in his name. That's not inspiring for anybody watching and thinking about following the path of God in the future. Why would God want that? That's not the God I believe in. That's not the being, the higher intelligence that I believe in. So in those moments of setting big goals and declaring, this is what I want, show me the way, you have to have faith and trust and almost surrender it. And know that if you open your eyes and look, there'll be signs everywhere of the action you need to take. The action won't always be easy to take. The action will sometimes be hard. It's not just, effortless. It doesn't just guide you easily dancing through the tulips and into the sunset with no challenge. That's not how this works. We're having a human experience to be challenged and come through challenges and learn. So it's not always easy. And sometimes the action that we're guided to take makes us like shit a little bit. Like, you want me to do what? But we have to take action. Just sitting and praying and asking for signs and then doing nothing with them is useless. I talk about that actually in the book, which you can get a free copy of. Don't forget, if you're just logging in, you can get a free copy by sharing this video if you feel like it's valuable, and letting me know in the comments that you have done that so I know who shared, or tagging a good friend that you think might need to hear this. And I'm going to pick 10 names out of the hat and send you a copy of the book. So in there I talk about the fact that it's not enough to just ask for a sign and see the sign. We got to do something with it. So a few days after setting this intention, James and I decided to start looking online at what was out there, what houses are out there and how much are they, because then we know what we need to create to be able to pay in cash. And I got really deflated really quickly on Google because all of the houses were about $500,000 out of our budget that we could put into a house straight away and still have a warrior line of money left that made us feel safe. We needed an extra $500,000. That was going to take us at the time about a year to save. And again, you might be thinking, oh, for poor you, it's going to take you a year to save $500,000. My heart bleeds for you. But you know what it's like when you've got your heart set on something. It's like if you decide you're going to have a puppy. You can't wait, can you? You're like, let's go and look at them today. And it was like that. We'd set this powerful intention. We could see it in our minds. We were really excited and we wanted it now. And waiting 12 months to save another $500,000 felt like too far away. But why was I thinking like that? I've just said to you, haven't I? We're powerful creators of our own reality. Sometimes we've got to look at the reality as we see it and go, okay, that's how it is, but I know that anything can happen. And the universe or God or the angels know no boundaries when it comes to money, whether it's 500,000 or 500 pounds. It's just energy. And if I trust and stay certain that I'm going to be guided and look for the guidance and take the action, then anything is possible for me. So I stepped away from Google and I was like, that might be the physical reality as I see it right now when I look at the bank account and what Google's telling me. But I believe in miracles and I believe I live an extraordinary life right now because I've believed that and because I've allowed myself to be divinely guided and took the right action and been strategic, but not been scared to surrender at the same time. So I'm surrendering this and I'm going to say, show me the way. And then we went to an estate agent and we decided to go in the office and have a sit down with him and talk about what we wanted and where we wanted the house to be, and gave him our wish list. And he got up the search in front of us. He turned the computer around to show us what he was searching for, and he brought up a few options that were in our budget, and we went and viewed them, and it meant sacrificing some of the things that were on this list. It wasn't a soul yes. You know the difference between a head yes and a soul yes. You know, none of them were a soul yes. And I always check in and ask myself that question before I make any big decision. Is it a soul yes? Soul yeses can be scary, but for me, they make me tingle. They give me like that goosebumpy feeling all over my body. And although they might be scary, it's like riding a roller coaster. I know when I just get on, it's going to be the best thing ever, but I've just got to get on. It's that kind of feeling versus the dread that we feel when we know something isn't right. Whenever we act, when we feel that dread, it never works out good, right? So I wasn't feeling it with these houses, and we went back to the office at the agent and we sat in front of the computer again, and he was like, I think that's all we've got in your budget at the moment, guys. And then as he was scrolling through, I just saw this image of this house as he was, and I went, what about that? What's that? And I can't describe it, but the moment I laid eyes on it, I just knew it was a soul yes. And that bubbly feeling started. And he went, and his colleague behind him reached over and went, that's on Tapasuelas Mountain, right? That's not sold, that fell through. And he's like, it fell through? What? I thought that sold like over a year ago. No. It's still on the market, I'm sure of it. Then there was some like rustling around and checking. He was like, yeah, they pulled out. People that wanted to buy it couldn't afford it in the end. It's still there. And he was like, oh my God, I don't know how that's still there. That's an amazing house. Looks at the price and he's like, is that the right price? And even he looked baffled by it. It was bang on our budget, literally to the penny. And it was everything on the wish list. And I was like, I want to see it. He was like, yeah, but it's not in the areas that you told me. I said, yeah, but because I hadn't written an area on my list. I just said to him, oh, we're thinking of these areas. But my list just said beautiful mountain scenery, breathtaking views, remote, retreats, He was like, oh, but it's not in one of those. I was like, yeah, but I want to see it. He's like, it's very remote. I was like, yeah, I want to see it. He's like, it's quite a walk from the nearest village. Yeah, I want to see it. I hadn't said I needed to be in walking distance from the nearest village. None of those things were on the list. I want to see it. He's like, okay, we'll go and see it. And we drove up, and all the way up, I was saying to James, this is the one. I don't care. This is the one. And he was like, really? But it's like an hour out the way of village. I was like, yeah, but this is the one. And we didn't specify that. I'm telling you, this is the one. I just felt it in every fibre of my being. We walked around it. I was like, I want it. And it was mine. And still to this day, no one can explain why this house was over $500,000 under what it should have been market value. No one can explain that to me. I didn't want to ask too much because I thought any minute now they're going to go back to the owner and say she'd pay way more for this house. So I was cautious, but I was waiting. I was kind of waiting for someone to go, that's what's wrong with it. I was waiting for them to find something, but I just kept ignoring that voice and going, no, just trust that this is the one. It's all working out exactly as it should be for you. Literally within 30 days, when that new moon turned full, which is when the full expression of what you've been manifesting should manifest, when you manifest in the cycle of the moon, that house was ours. We'd had an offer accepted. I'd had structural engineers in, I had architects in, I had all these people looking around it, like searching every inch of it, because I was positive, oh my God, it's going to fall down. It's going to just like slide off the mountain when I buy it. Like, what's wrong with it? No one could find a thing. The structural engineer actually said to me, either buy it or I'll buy it, because that house is a well-made, beautiful house that is well underpriced, and I have no idea what the owners are thinking. And we still answer. But isn't it funny that the biggest miracles and the biggest magical moments are always the ones that we don't necessarily have answers to ever? We just have to trust that it worked out exactly as it should. And do you know what? There were moments where we got scared renovating a house in a foreign country, not speaking the language. Our builders didn't speak English. We'd never done this before. We had no plans, no drawings. We're not professionals. We just kind of had a vision in our mind and we went at it. We had no clue what we were doing. There were moments where I know the builders thought, Jesus Christ, these guys are crazy. They'd ask us for drawings and we were like, oh, drawings, where do we get those from? We just kind of want it to go here and here. And we're trying to explain in a different language, and you could see them looking at each other like shit. A renovation project, which we gave ourselves 5 years. We were like, do you know what? If this house takes 5 years to get ready, we are way ahead of schedule with it anyway. We manifested it way quicker than we ever thought was possible. 18 months we were done in a foreign country with all the challenges that I've described to you, in the middle of a pandemic as well. This build was finished ahead of time. And the moment it was, and the retreat went on sale, our first few retreats that we put on sale, they sold out within days. And then we opened the doors on our website just for normal vacations, just for people to book on a nightly basis or for a weekend or for a special occasion. And we were sold out that month, just before they locked down Spain again. People that don't follow me on social media or anything like that, just Spanish people that just wanted to come here on holiday and experience our home. And it was the best feeling to have people leaving us 5-star reviews saying, oh my God, this place is amazing, because James and I, knowing nothing, had done it all from scratch. And saying it was meant to be is an understatement. It really, really is. So just to summarise what you can take away from tonight, the first thing is, get a copy of the book. If you know you've got work to do when it comes to how you think and feel about money and success, Have it for free. It's my gift to you. All you've got to do, you know what you've got to do. If you've just logged in and you don't know what you've got to do, you just got to share the video. Let me know that you've shared it by commenting shared, because I don't know who shared it unless you tell me. You're going to go into a prize draw. I'm going to pull out 10 names and I'm going to send you a copy for Christmas. Even if you've already got the book, do it anyway, and you can give it to someone else at Christmas. There is everything I know in here about manifesting, about healing your relationship with money, about being the highest vibration that you can be when it comes to money. And when am I writing the next one? Kerry, that's a really good question. Watch this space, because I self-published this book, but I'm going to be being a published author next year, which is really, really exciting. So watch this space on that, because it's a big goal of mine and it's coming together as we speak. I'm manifesting it as we speak. So that's the first thing you need to know. The other nugget is what I said about the fact that, you know, muscle memory and patterns that are stubborn, the way we've thought and felt for a long time, it's ingrained. Money doesn't change that. We have to keep working on it to change that. And what we were doing to get there, we can't stop doing, or else we unravel our success. So any bad habits you've picked up, any disciplines that you used to have that served you, that you've let go of, rein them back in as of today. Budgeting. It's a way of life for me now. The percentages, know what percentage is going to what each month. The book's going to tell you that, so absolutely get yourself a copy. Being true to who you are and knowing what feels good and what doesn't feel that good, listening to the feedback. One of the things that was alerting me to the fact that I felt bad about spending money was that I was terrified of being broke again. And that was valuable. That wasn't something I needed to eradicate. That's the reason I work so hard now to pay for houses in cash. Those of you that follow will know that since all of this, I've got a house in Portugal and we live most of the year there. We've got a brand new house that we're just about to complete on in England. So I've got a house close to my family. None of this is mortgages, credit cards, loans. Nothing I purchase, car, houses, anything, is ever on credit again, because we created that as a new normal, and you can too. You and I are no different, energetic beings with the power to raise your energy, manifest more for yourself, and implement a strategy into your business that works. That's the only difference between me and you if you're not where you want to be. Energy and strategy. They're the only two things I focus on. You have the power to change both of those if they're not working for you. And when it comes to doing that, it started for me by being broke and saying, I don't want to feel like this again, and I don't want big mortgages again, and I don't want finance on cars again, because that kept me awake at night even when I had money, because I'd got to keep earning it to keep paying for those things, and that doesn't sound like freedom for me. And if you want the same for you, then it is available to you. You don't have to have mortgages, you don't have to have credit cards. It just requires you to change the way you think and change the strategy that you're implementing so you can earn more. Tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing a competition on all of my social media pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. It's a bit of fun. I'm not going to ask you to do anything heavy, like give me your details, your email address, or anything like that, so I can spam you. don't want anything from you. I just want you to play a game with me tomorrow. That's it, a Christmas game. In celebration of December starting, I'm going to be playing a game on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. For taking part, you're going to be entered into a prize draw, and you're going to have the opportunity to win a free marketing mastery course worth $997. So just under £1,000 I'm going to just be giving away for free tomorrow. And you can take that lifetime access to that course as a Christmas present on me just by playing a Christmas game with me. That's all I want from you. Have a look on my social media accounts for the Christmas game tomorrow. I'm going to be giving away 3 courses, one on Instagram, one on LinkedIn, one on Facebook, so you can play on all of those platforms if you want to. We're not going to disqualify you for playing on all of them, so it triples your chance of winning. So if you want to be in it to win it, I will see you tomorrow, and you know what to do already to get a copy of the book. I'm just giving away so much because I'm feeling really happy about the fact that it's December tomorrow and it's my favourite time of the year, and I can't wait for Santa Claus to come. Speak to you.